Hello everyone, Parasite7 here and welcome to my beginner's guide to Bloons TD Battles 2. In this video, I'll cover the basics like how do you build a strategy, what is alt eco, and why do my opponents keep rushing me on round 11, and many more questions some players may have. I might make a more advanced guide covering advanced techniques like stalling, anti-stalling, and layering, or what Bloons you should be ecoing with by certain rounds, although that last one isn't really an advanced technique. Also, this video will assume you've played BT6, so I want to explain what all the Bloon types are, like fortification, regrows, and what it means to decamo Bloons. So I'll probably leave a pinned comment explaining what those are if you don't know. Anyways, I've left timestamps in the description just in case you want to skip to a specific section. I'm making this video because the tutorial in Battles 2 is garbage and doesn't really tell players how to fully play the game. As it is, you'd have to have knowledge from Battles 1 to really know how to play Battles 2. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on with it. The most important thing in Battles 2 in my opinion is eco. Basically, every strategy can be broken down into three main categories, the categories being pure eco, alt eco, and farming strategies. Before I explain the three, first you need to know what eco is. Eco is represented by the green number at the top of the screen with a little arrow next to it. Every 6 seconds you gain that amount of money. So if you have 300 eco, you gain 300 cash. Eco can be increased by sending Bloons at the player. To keep in mind that BFBs and above will drain your eco, so be careful. One of the most common mistakes I see often is players not sending any eco at all. You always want to be sending eco at your opponent unless they are rushing you, or if you're going for a farming strategy. There are more situations in which you don't want to send eco, but I won't list them all here. So now that you know what eco is, I'll explain three main categories. First is pure eco strategies. Pure eco strategies rely solely on eco in order to gain money. The only pure eco strategy I know that works well is Tackai's Village. I don't consider Monkey Town to be alt eco because Monkey Town just increases the eco you gain from Bloons. Second is alt eco. When someone is talking about alt eco, they are referring to a tower like Sniper, Druid, Boat, Heli, or some other way of making money without sending Bloons at the player to make money. Alt eco allows you to have selling power and do damage at the same time, especially with Druid or Sniper. But alt eco generally changes the way you play the strat, as you want to get your alt eco tower up ASAP. My favorite alt eco strat is Tackai's Sniper. I usually stop sending eco Bloons to my opponent when I have 1k to 1.5k eco. This way I can set my snipers pretty quickly. Alt eco strats are really popular. Most of the previous meta strats were alt eco strategies. And lastly, we have farm strategies. These strategies are unique because the way you play them are very different from pure eco or alt eco strategies. When going for farms, you generally want to go for spaced eco. By the way, spaced eco is Bloon sends that come out spaced apart and not grouped. Easy way to figure this out, if a Bloon's in a space or not, so when you look at the Bloon icon, there's only one Bloon. If so, that means it's spaced. Spaced eco doesn't generate as much eco per second, but it doesn't drain money as quickly. This is perfect for farms since you want to get your farms up ASAP. Also with farms, you usually stop ecoing at like 500 or so ecos. You can go mixed eco, but most people don't. In this section, let's talk strategies. I won't go over how to play certain strategies, but how to build strategies. Building a strategy isn't that hard. Just ask yourself a series of simple questions like, what tower am I using to start with? You can't start with every tower either because it's too expensive or too weak in the early game. You should also ask yourself, what's my camo detection? Will I have a tower that D camos, or will my towers already C camo through upgrades? Then ask yourself, how you defend certain rushes like round 11 purples, round 13 regen rainbows, round 17 Moabs, round 18 fortified Moabs, round 26 DDTs, and so on. If you can't realistically beat any of those rushes with your strategy, you may need to rethink it. Also, keep in mind, a tower you thought you could use for a certain round may not be as good as you think. For example, here I'm using Pod to defend DDTs, but barely holds off fortified DDTs, and this was before Bloon ramping was made stronger. Now it sounds like a lot of work to think of a strategy, but one advantage you have is you might think of a new meta strat that can push you all the way to Hall of Masters because no one can counter it. But if you don't want to think of a new strategy, you could just copy one of the many popular strategies that people use and learn from them. The main downside to this is people will have thought of a counter to that strategy because it's popular, so keep in mind of that and learn how to counter those counters. But if the counter to your strategy is Bloon Trap because you're going for pure eco, well good luck because you can't really counter that. Also, one last thing, you want to try and be good at several different strategies as some strats work better on some maps than others. For example, Tackai's Village works wonders on long maps but sucks on short maps like Glade or Koru, so keep that in mind. So how do you play your strategy? An easy way to figure this out is look and see which one of the three categories your strat falls into. If you're going for pure eco and you have Village, you want to get Monkey Town ASAP in order to gain as much money as possible. You may not want to max out on ecoing. Sending pinks on like round 17 is generally not a good idea. You want to keep some cash on hand so you can defend if need be. Alt eco strats are like pure eco. The only difference is I personally like to stop ecoing at a certain point so I can set up my alt eco tower. Of course, I will send eco balloons once I have my alt eco tower set up, but I won't send something like pinks because it will drain too much money. Though if my opponent has balloon trap, I'll just stop ecoing completely. Lastly, farms. Farm strategies are like alt eco strats, the difference being is you stop ecoing a lot earlier. Usually around 500 or so eco, and you don't continue ecoing after. So this is so you can set up your farms pretty quickly. Heroes get their own section because heroes drastically change the way you play. It can help bring some strategies full circle. There are 6 heroes currently with 6 hero alts. Note that this video was made before Season 5 was released. Every hero acts the same as they do in BTD 6, the only difference in Battle 2 is hero alts. Hero alts act differently from their base counterpart. For example, Sentai Churchill applies laser shock to balloons while normal Churchill does not. I won't go over all the differences in this video, but if you want to know more, I'll link the Bloons wiki down below if you want to read about each of the heroes' differences. In order to unlock heroes, you need to buy them with monkey money first, which you get from playing the game. In order to unlock the hero alternate, you need to first unlock every cosmetic for the base hero, then you can unlock the hero alt. I won't tell you which hero to unlock first because it depends on your strategy, and Ninja Kiwi is constantly balancing the game by nerfing and buffing heroes and towers. So while a hero might be good now, it may not be good in the future and vice versa. If you're running meta, you most likely know which hero is good for your strategy, and of course if you're going for bomb or mortar strategy, Striker Jones would most likely be the best choice. Overall, heroes do play a semi-important role in games in my opinion. Most heroes right now aren't like that great, with DJ Ben being the best because of his beatdown ability, but hopefully heroes like Cyber Quincy will be viable in the future. This section I'm sure most people are interested in is how to improve at Battles 2. Well, the best way to get better is really by just playing the game. Of course, there are some general skills that will help you improve, like getting better at micro. Being able to buy and then use and sell a tower like Maelstrom in a second can help you greatly, but it's not required. I made it to ZOMG Superdome with like terrible micro skills. That's probably why I've only made it to ZOMG, but that's good enough for me. Anyway, you can get better by just watching people who are better than you play the game, especially if you're using meta strategies. Just watching how they defend certain rushes or watching what eco balloons they send by certain rounds can all help you improve greatly, and can help if you're stuck on what to do for certain rushes. For example, fortified ZOMGs can be tricky to defend at times. You may not know exactly how to defend. Watching someone else defend them might give you an idea especially what to do. This is especially true if you're running a meta strat. I know that Dartling Farm Ninja is weak to fortified ZOMGs because defending them is expensive. Also, reading the patch notes of Battles 2 can help a lot. Battles 2 is based off BTD 6, but Battles 2 is balanced differently, so knowing what those changes are can help you defend a rush, or learn what a certain tower is weak to. Also, some towers don't work the same as they do in TD6. For example, Balloon Incineration can defortify ZOMGs in Battles 2, but not in TD6. Another example is Jungle's Bounty. In Battles, Jungle's Bounty makes $1,000 no matter what, but in TD6 you need farms surrounding the druid in order for it to make more money. So knowing what these differences are can help you greatly in matches. The most important advice I can give is rushing. Don't be afraid to send balloons at your opponent. I made it from Yellow Stadium to Moab Pit with just round 11 grouped zebras, and I didn't lose a single game during that. And even if they defended, you most likely made them upgrade a tower or sell something to defend. Forcing them to upgrade is worth it. Bonus points if they spent more money to defend than you spent to rush. Lastly, just have fun with the game. You won't become a top 10 Hall of Masters player overnight when you were hard stuck in White Wasteland. Improving happens over time. It might happen slowly, or it could happen a bit quickly. I mean, just look at me. I struggled in the beginning of the game and was hard stuck in Ceramic Crucible for the most of the game's lifespan. Now I've made it to ZOMG Superdome twice. It's not impressive by any means, but if you watch my older videos, you can see how much I improved over the course of a few seasons. Even my strategy improved. Although it's not hard to get much better than Ice NG Wizard, but we don't talk about that. Anyway, one last thing is you may lose a lot of games if you're testing out how to use a certain tower. I've lost many games because I was trying something new and it didn't work out the way I intended. At the time I'm making this video, NK hasn't added a sandbox to Battles 2, so the only way to test towers is by going into a real game. It's annoying, but hey, what else can you do? I would like to end this video by saying that I only covered the most basic of basics. I didn't talk about advanced tactics like stalling, anti-stalling, baiting, layering, or anything really complex, as I don't want to throw too much at you guys all at once. I may make a more advanced guide down the road, but that depends on how well this video does. If you have any questions or have any advice for players, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. I might answer them or someone else will. If If you want more in-depth discussion about Battles 2 or want to test strategies against other players, join the Discord. Link is in the description. And I'll see all you guys in the next video.